is your stay in Dinard?
I'm loving Dinard. So it's my first time in Brittany and my first time here in this town, and it's very beautiful. We have great weather, an Indian summer, we call it, and I've swum in the sea twice. And the festival, the way the town embraces the festival, and the fact that the screenings are full of people from the town is really great. So no, I love it here.
Your film takes place in France. Could you just tell us why?
My childhood holidays were in France, so I think I had many formative moments of change in my life that took place while on holiday here. And so it resonates as an other space, a kind of liminal place of change and a place of magic for the family in the film. It could perhaps have been Italy, but for me it was always going to be France. And I have some friends who have a small house in the southwest, and I'm lucky enough to stay there from time to time, and the film is partly a response to that house in the Monténois and to the forest and the barrage and the atmosphere of the locale.
Has Departure been selected by other festivals?
Yes, so we leave Dinard and we go to London Film Festival, and then to Alice in the City in Rome, and then to Ghent, and we have some further festivals which are not announced yet.
Could you just tell us about the choice of the title, Departure? Is that a kind of double sense?
Yes, I think it's a film about many departures. So it's the departure of the adolescent son from his childhood. It's a departure for Beatrice from the marriage, and a departure for the family from the house and from France. I just have the word departure is exciting for me. I associate it with the big sign with the train times in Gare du Nord. It's always something that gives me an excitement. So it's about a new beginning as opposed to an end, because in some way it's the end of a marriage and the end of childhood. It's also the beginning of adulthood and the beginning of a new life for all the characters.
Your cast is very good. On which what is the main idea for choosing your main characters? I mean the two teenagers.
It was important to find somebody who could play Elliot, who would bring a kind of vulnerability and poetry, but who would demonstrate through the longevity, the whole arc of the film, a kind of strength and courage. So yes, in the casting of the boys, I was looking for an actor to play Elliot who would bring a sensitivity and a vulnerability, but who could also sustain the audience's interest over the duration of the film. And Alex Lawther has a kind of translucence. He vibrates. You can see beneath his skin, and he brings that sensitivity. And for Clément, I was looking for someone, forgive me, who is perhaps an English person, very quintessentially French, and has an impulsiveness and a sexuality and an physical availability and strength that would be provocative to Elliot. And we were just very, very lucky to find Felix Brossard, who I met 3 years ago and auditioned each year when we hoped that we would film. And I was just very pleased that he was available and wanted to play the role.
Just to illustrate that Elliot is someone sensitive, was it a starting point of his character or just a detail?
I think, yeah, so there were a number of starting points for the film, and some of them were my memories of my adolescence. Some, as I mentioned, derived from the house and the ambience of that house in France and that region in the Monténois. I think also for me there was some ideas in Ovid's Metamorphosis about transformation and change and evolution. Also an opera that I've seen in Ireland by Dvorak called Rusalka, which is the myth of a water nymph who wishes to be human, who wishes to be corporal, physical, in order to be embraced by the prince. And the idea that the characters, Beatrice and Elliot, and I think also Clément and Philip, all wish to be substantial, to be touched, to make contact. I think for Elliot, his literary pretensions are just that. I don't think he has ever read Proust. Maybe he's read Swann's Way, Chez Swann, but I don't think he got much past Combray, I suspect. But it's typical of his pretentiousness that he would talk about Proust and Rimbaud.
What was your artistic intention? Are there some references, some models, some films?
I probably was not. I mean, there are many French films and coming-of-age films that resonate for me. I don't think you would see any of them in Departure, not intentionally. I was not quoting. There's a film called Le Souffle by Damien Oudou, which I loved. And a film, I think it's called Wild Reeds. I don't know the title in French.
That's your writing at the moment.
But really my sort of intention was to explore the ideas of knowing something before you know it. So the idea that all the characters have a sense of change about to happen, and in some ways they go and seek out and try and make that change happen, and in other ways they run away from it. So that was the core idea, to explore change, quiet transformations in the lives of the characters.
That quotation of the thing, knowing what will be...
Yeah, I forget where it... That's right, and there was going to be a line at the beginning when a French couple were having an argument, and she thinks he's had an affair, and he says, "Oh, but your husband knows," and she said, "Ah, yes, but there's knowing and there's knowing. Il est être courant, il est être courant." But I think it seemed a bit too on the nose, we say in English, a bit too.
Dreams have a very important place in your film. Is it only formal?
Oh, that's a good question. Listen, I think cinema is the natural home of dreams, in a way. Dreams are sensory visual experiences, to an extent. And I think the differing Freudian and Jungian exploration of how dreams can serve to signal and to direct an individual and to express unexpressed ideas and wishes is a great way of, provides a great way in cinema of hinting at feelings that the characters have or haven't yet realized they have, or know subconsciously but haven't expressed yet. And so I think and film can be ambiguous as to whether it was a dream or whether it was a moment that really happened or that was a wish fulfillment. So Elliot spends some time in the barrage, and those moments could be a dream, but they could also be metaphors perhaps, and actually finally he is in the barrage.
Was it difficult for you to choose an ending? I mean, when we see the film, we could just imagine there is many endings, just not one. Maybe because you introduced so many thematics just before.
The ending is sort of the hardest bit, and I suppose the only thing I could say is that the ending we have is the result of cutting and reducing and trying to simplify. There was another kind of happy ending in which or a slightly louder happy ending, but I think the one that we found expressed in a way that was appropriate to the volume of the film, the salvation, the reconciliation that we wanted to express. And the centre of the film is a love story between Beatrice and her son Elliot. Clément is a necessary function of that love story, and so is Beatrice's husband Philip, but it's really about how two people on the cusp of change can allow each other to grow. and Beatrice must allow her son Elliot to grow and change, and he has to allow her to be human and fallible and sexual and complex, and they both need to give each other permission, and it's that act of giving permission is the act of love in their love story.
Thank you very much.